What it is, it's your boy LB. Where you coming in from? Where you checking in from? Let me know where you coming in from. What city? What city you repping? Who in the building with your boy Burly? Want to talk some 52 blocks? hmm You know how we do. It's time to talk some 52. Who rocking with me? I got my coffee. hmm You know when I got my coffee on deck, it's finna be something. It's finna be something when I got my coffee on deck. Yes, sir. hmm Salute, it's your boy Burly reporting from the 52 block section. It's your boy Burly reporting from the 52 block headquarters. Who checking in with me? Where you checking in from? hmm Smash that like button. We back. We back. Guns is out. Uh-huh. Guns is out. We back. We're gonna talk some 52. We got Cleveland in the house. Yes, sir. Peace to the gods. Salute. Cleveland in the house. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. David Pollock. Salute. With it be, fam? Mm-hmm. That's right. Checking in. Who checking in? The boogie down? We got the boogie down up in here. Stop playing. We got the BX in the building. BX in the building. Salute. Salute. Today's math, we breaking down some 52 blocks. We're going to break down some of them stories, man. I hate to be the myth buster, but somebody got to do it. Somebody got to be the myth buster. Because, the myths do, a myth can have some value. It's because of a myth that may have made you want to do the research on a particular subject. But then you find out, you find out once you do the research, the myths ain't real. But you're already there, you're doing your research, so it's all good. And in that way, a myth can be a good thing. But in most ways, a myth kind of blurs the story. So we got to talk about it. We're going to have to figure it out. Yeah, let's let a couple of more people get in the building before we start cooking. Salute to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. Everything's appreciated. Share this video. Smash the like button. We finna talk some 52. Yes, sir. Yeah. Trying to get that real beard thing going on here. Trying to get the real beard. You know what I'm saying? One of the joints is just out here like the Rick Ross jump off. That's right. We're going for the Rick Ross look right now. Rick Ross beard. I ain't gonna say look. Rick Ross beard. Okay, we got 15 seconds and we jumping into this subject. Okay, 5 seconds. We on the countdown. Get ready. Grab your coffee. Sit down. Grab a pen and pad if you want to write this down. Let's talk the origins of 52 blocks of two things I don't agree with. There's a lot of things I don't agree with. Let's not start there. But the ones that matter. The ones that matter. All right, first, it's a prison system. This one is a biggie because when you look at it on face value, it could look like that. And you hear a lot of the stories that you'll hear about 52 blocks, about someone learning about it, is like their uncle came home from jail, father, brother, homie came home from jail, and he had this new slick way of fighting. And I'm not knocking anybody's stories here, let me lay that down as the disclaimer. I ain't knocking your stories, I ain't knocking what you say to be your experiences. I'm just talking truth. Because we got to we got to make sure the credit falls on the right group of people. All right? So in some ways, this is true. Because when you think back, When I look at it, is when you go back into slavery, when black men were born into bondage, born into captivity. You know, this is the origins. You know, not saying they was doing the actual 52 then, but they were forced to, you know, being in these cramped places, there's going to be some agitation, there's going to be some fights. And within that, the fighting skill is going to grow. People are going to start practicing because they know these fights are coming. And you may be shackled, you may already have on handcuffs where your punching is limited, you know. But 52 blocks is the art of defense. This is what black men have been able to show at the highest level. In any place when you look at it, at the highest level. Think about basketball, football, you know, soccer. The defense of the defense sharpness has been the thing that the black man has mastered in everything we do. And even like I said back in the days when I was coming up, you can have a fight, you can have a scuffle, you can have a scuffle, a nice scuffle, and be winning, and you take one to the eye, boom, maybe close your eye. When you get back to the hood and you talk about the fight, they're going to assume that you got beat up. He said, yeah, well, how'd you get that black eye? But you won the fight. That was the only shot he landed. But we will consider that a loss because we are that extreme when it comes to our defense. That's why you hear Ali, at the end of his fights, what Ali said when he was coming up, I'm still pretty. I'm still pretty. What was he trying to say? That man ain't landing a blow on me. He ain't laying there a glove on me, and I was touching him up. See, this is our mentality. And this is the birth of 52. So to just put it on a criminal thing, we already have a problem fighting with, you know, we already have that stigma over our head. There's no reason to excel it, you know. There's no reason to blow it up. How did 52 blocks get into prison as criminals? Because criminals on the street were doing 52 blocks and they went to jail. You know what I'm saying? They went to jail. Yeah, man. That Errol Spence thing. I still got to talk about it, man. You know, Errol Spence is still the truth. Still the truth. He just met superior gunpowder. We must give it up to Terrence Crawford. We must hold on. Let me stop my segment right now. We must give it up to Terrence Bud Crawford, because what Terrence Bud Crawford showed is layers. The man got layers to his game, and it's not said that I didn't think. It's not that I ever didn't think he didn't have layers to this game, but such layers that he can do what he did to Errol Spence. Errol Spence is an elite fighter. Let's not mistake. Let's not just say just because he took a loss, he's some type of corner bum. He is no corner bum. The man is an elite fighter, and Terrence Crawford took an elite fighter and dismantled him. That is the highest of high. That is the highest of high. The TBE era has switched over to a new person. It is no longer Mayweather era. It is now the Bud Crawford era, people. We are now in the Bud Crawford era, and we have to accept it because that man did that to an elite fighter. So let's not forget that. Just because Errol Spence got, he got dominated, let's not forget the level this man is on. Because you will take away credit from Terrence Bud Crawford's win by even doing that. So salute to Bud Crawford, undisputed in the two-weight classes, never done before. Bud Crawford is up there in my top 5 now, people. My top 5. We got Sugar Ray Robinson. We got Willie Pep. We got Ali. We got Mayweather. And now we have Terrence Bud Crawford. That's right. He's in the top 5. Can you get top 5? Gotta put him up there. Straight like that. But getting back to the story. 52 block fighters went to jail already knowing 52 blocks. That's the part I'm talking about. It wasn't created in jail, where they was in jail secretly breaking down. No, that's not what happened. Now, when they got there, they may have tailor-fitted things Oh, Gene Tunney is another bad one. He's just not in my top five. Gene Tunney is another bad one. They may have created things that um, altered it. They may have made it a smaller move, but they went in knowing these moves. The real progression, the real change, the real display of 52 is in boxing. But you don't see it like this. So you'll say, "Oh, I don't see it." No, what you're looking at is the responsibility of defense that black fighters carry, and that's what 52 blocks is: an art of defense, how not to be hit. You know, I try to say this a lot of times, and I think it flies over people's head. How not to be hit, meaning slipping, ducking, catching, blocking, covering. All of the other side of fighting, people. I think we all go into a fight thinking we're going to win, so we forget about the defensive level. Like even when we talk about Bud Crawford and Earl Spence had defense, but imagine if his defense was on a different level. He wouldn't have had to take all of that punishment. And that's the power of defense, people. That's the power of defense. It is just as equal as your offense. Matter of fact, your defense is superior to your offense because by birth, you are birthed with defense, but you are not birthed with offense. I'm going to say that one more time. You are birthed with defense, but you are not birthed with offense. Meaning, defense is self-preservation. Everybody has it. If I tried to hit you in the head with something, you're going to do something. You know, but you don't naturally have offense. Offense is something that must be learned. It's outside of you. So defense actually is greater than your offense. But ego attaches itself to the offense, not defense. See, your ego doesn't attach itself to your defense. It attaches itself to your offense. Smash that like button, people. Come on, man. We got 13 people up in here. We ain't like we got a crowd. But can we get them likes up a little bit before I go on? Come on, get them likes up so I can really start chewing it. Get them likes up. For your boy Burly. Do it for your boy Burly. Smash that like button. That's what I'm talking about. Smash. If you forgot to smash the like button, go on and smash it. Don't worry, ain't nobody seen you. We ain't seen you. So just go on there and just smash it. Just go on there and touch it. Just touch it one time for your boy Burly. That's all you gotta do. Even if you a hater, just touch it. Oh, somebody took their like back. That's dick dastardly. It's like, yep. Defense keeps you alive. See, like I said, your ego is going to attach itself to your offense because it wants to get rid of the man. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with trying to get rid of the man. But that's not a defensive thing. The way Bud was catching Spence, jab catch and shooting the jab, right? Well, listen, like I said, man, we can't disrespect Mr. EJ. You know, I'm still Team Errol Spence. Yes, he got beat up. He got manhandled. But that's part of the game. When you on that elite level, you can't disrespect Spence. He is no corner bum just because Bud put them hands and feet all over him. He put them paws on him. He's no corner bum. You know, something could happen in the rematch. That's where great fighters is usually found, in the rematch. You get up in that rematch and you can knock something out in the rematch, they're going to totally forget about that loss. Even though that might not happen. That might not happen. But hey, we can dream, right? Who up on here knew Bud was going to do that? Let me see somebody say that they knew Bud was going to go in there and just put hands all over Errol Spence. I'm going to wait for it. He said, I agree, I'm just Team Bud, though. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. I was rocking with EJ from the beginning, so you can't just be switching up teams and stuff like that. I was with EJ way back when he was fighting the French dude and he started running around talking about it was strap season. But nobody could have seen it going that way. I thought it was going to be more like a Hearns and, a Lennon and Hearns It was going to be like a back fourth. I think Hearns knocked Leonard eyeball silly. Yeah, he knocked his eyeball out, but he was still fighting. I thought it was going to be one of those. I had Bud win. Yeah, I think that's the only way I had gave Bud really a victory was in the distance. I figured he would win on points, not by no knockout. Yeah, Bud is definitely on another level. Josh Taylor beat Bud. Josh Taylor was good, but Josh Taylor ain't beating no Bud. We just see Josh Taylor get beat up by Tiafimo. And you know, Tiafimo got all types of mental deficiencies, and he went in there and just put hands all over him. Yeah, I don't think Josh Taylor could have beat Bud. I had Bud's son head was on pop culture to me. Who, Spence? You know, well, yes, I think Spence got a little caught up. You know, he started getting money. He was running with Adrian Broner and them. Like, I think he got caught up, but he chilled with all that. He went and bought a farm. He was raising ducks and riding horses and slapping pigs. He had changed up. So we can't just say it was all of that. It could have been part of the car accident, but he had fights after the car crash. So we can't just really say it was all the car crash because he went up there, he beat up Garcia, I think, after the car crash, or Porter, one of them, after that car crash. He didn't even take a tune-up. Tank versus Bud, come on now. Yeah. Tank too small for Bud. That'd be like Bud up in there beating on the child. Like, you know, Tank got power, but we see Bud powers on a whole different level. And he got like, we got 72-inch arms or some craziness like that. Yeah, Tank could never be able to handle Bud. I think he just mad because he EJ homie. Tank is EJ homie, so of course he want to go in the venture, but that's not going to happen. Ugas and Garcia. Danny Garcia, you talking about? If you talking about Ugas versus Danny Garcia right now, I got to go with Ugas. I think the Ugas Keith Thurman fight is a good fight. I think that's a good fight. Because out of that fight, one of them guys is going to have to fight Jerron Boots Ennis. Because if EJ and Bud do the rematch at 154, that means the belts are back open. They, you know, Bud going to have to leave those belts behind, go up to 154, and see if he can become undisputed in another weight class. He said, you Americans know how to fight. We in Europe respect your fighters. Salute to that. Salute to that. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. But y'all ain't, you know, y'all ain't got bums out there in Europe either. Y'all got some hitters. That's who EJ fought after the car crash was Ugas. Okay. But then we seen that, you know, the car crash has some effect, but it ain't cripple him. It ain't cripple him. You know, he was still able to fight. But I just think, you know, it was Bud Crawford showing how elite he truly is. You know, if you can do that to an elite fighter, that's different. Like anybody can go in there and beat on a tomato can. You know, yes, you do got the heavyweight game. Anybody can go beat on a tomato can. But when you go beat on an elite like that, when you take an elite fighter and dismantle him like that, you got to give all praises due. All praises due. All praises due. But as I was saying, getting back to 52 blocks, it is not a prison fighting system. 52 blocks is not a prison fighting system. It's a melanated fighting system, and it came from the art of defense. Wanting to have your defense so sharp that you can win a fight without taking in any damage. Now, we know this could be extreme. In some fights, you're going to have to take in some damage. But imagine if your defense is on the next level. A lot of that damage, you're going to be able to slip away, catch, block. That's what 52 blocks is. Now, you may see people showing it in a different way. Well, they're going to have to prove it. Because I'm not saying that You can't use some of these blocks, don't become elbow strikes. You know, the hand feint of 52 is so extreme, it works well with weapon fighting. Because if you're talking about knife fighting, one of the things you're going to need is a good feint. You're going to have some good feints to throw off when you're going to come forward with the knife game. You ain't going to just be all stiff with it like this. You know, if you really knife fighting, look at the countries where there's knife fighting. There's a lot of arm feints going on. A lot of arm feinting going on before they try to go in for the Pokemon. Before they try to go in for the Pokemon, they're using a lot of arm feints. So 52 can work with that. You know, even some of the shapes could be a slash. You can be creative with 52 like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But the bottom line of 52 is self-preservation, defense. Have your defensive side just as trained just as well as your offensive side. Your ability to throw a punch and your ability to block and make a punch miss. Make them miss, make them pay. That is the 52 block in Burly way. Make them miss, make them pay. That is the 52 block in Burly way. You know, you may see somebody that's just doing it like that, but that's confusion and chaos. Now, if they're using it to set up something, okay. I'm not seeing nothing wrong with it if you're doing all of those movements just to probably get an ankle pick, steal off an overhand. Okay, that's 52 too. But there's a moment in time for that because you can't just use unnecessary arm movements, burning energy that you're going to need to get through this fight with. You're going to need that energy. You got to learn how to conserve energy in the fight. That's why every punch you throw can't have killer's intent on it, or you're going to be 30, 45 seconds, you're going to be wasted. You're going to be wasted. You're going to be shit-faced and wasted. 30 seconds. If every punch got killer intent, now some of them punches got to be probing punches, throwaway punches. You know, see what his reaction is. Just touch him. You know, get him used to being touched, and then with the bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're fighting against the supercomputer, and you're not just fighting against the shell that houses the supercomputer, because the body is just a shell. You ain't fighting the body, you fighting the supercomputer. So you gotta trick it, get it used to being touched. Yeah, and then you drop the heavy load, you drop the bricks into that punch. That's real fighting, because you can do that way longer than you can throwing punches from, you know, Antarctica all the way up with just killer's intent. You know, you gonna run out. You better hurry up and clip him. You better hurry up and clip him, because if you don't, you're gonna punch yourself out, as we say in boxing. He done punched himself out. He tired. Him tired. That can happen fast. As my teacher used to say, fatigue will make women of us all. That's right. Fatigue will turn you into a woman. You ain't got no strength, tired, defenseless. You're vulnerable. There's no knock on women. You know, so your strategy in fighting is a must, and the part of that strategy has to be defense. Just like a football team, they got an offensive squad, they got a defensive squad. When the offensive squad is on the field, they trying to move the ball forward. When the defensive squad is on the field, they trying to stop the other team from moving forward. Same thing with a fight. As always, hands up, chin down, rumble. Young man rumble.